Several things are on my mind as I don't vlog on this channel often. I only have a couple subscribers, but we're talking about design. This is Designer's Corner, but we talk about several topics on design. As you can see, this is my corner, and I want to make it my mission from this going forward, Christmas and New Year's, to make this a better place to talk about other topics other than just design, but relationships, make it a more broader place to speak on issues. Of course, the most important topic that seems to be getting a lot of airtime is the Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift, Kayla dynamic. And I wanted to talk about it because we talked about narcissist abuse in the beginning of my blog. A lot of spin has been going on since Kayla came out with her own video. I've been watching a lot of videos on her interviews, and I like Kayla. I just think that she kind of came onto the scene because of Taylor. And I think that she had some bad timing. And I have a link of a broadcast that kind of did some commentary on Kayla. If you don't know who Kayla was Travis Kelce's former girlfriend of 5 years. And to be quite honest, I don't know that Travis was totally into her towards or into this relationship like he is with Taylor. That's the difference in the relationship. I think he's more into Taylor. And I would be too if I was a guy. I'd be more into Taylor because Taylor's a cutie. But um, I have a little bit more to say about it, but I'm going to take a break and just break from this. But that link will be in the description box. But I really wanted to make this Christmas special, but something more positive than talking about the gossip that's going on about this. But it is getting a lot of airtime. And sorry, it's early in the morning and I don't think my hair is quite doing what it wants to do, or well, it's doing what it wants to do by itself, which is absolutely has a mind of its own. But I want to kick back and relax and just tell you some things about Designer's Corner. What I did with my design here is this mantle. The story behind the mantle was that I got it for $50. It was excavated from a bunch of builders and contractors who were excavating a building or a house that is in a really predominant area, and it was old. They didn't want to throw it away, and I bought it for $50. And they came up here. Well, the guy one of the contractors that gave it to me for free, literally, um, basically mounted it to my wall, and I ended up with a mantle here. So I bought all the accessories, and this all happened last year. But what I wanted to show you is I put up a card garland. It's really kind of cool. All I did is nail up, I'll show you really quick. I took 2 nails on each end and nailed up twine, and I'll show you the garland. And I have all my cards all posted up with clothespins. So something very simple on how to display cards. Like, I didn't really think about it at first. I thought, this is so simple. I can't believe I just thought of this. Like, I looked it up on the internet how to display Christmas cards. So there it is. Ideas come to life, and it's something as simple as twine with a couple nails on the ends of the mantle. And there it is. All I had to do is just have the small clothespins, and there I have garland, and I could display my cards. I just, I'm sentimental. What can I say? Anyway, so what I wanted to say about this whole, I had a real burning desire to talk about this story about Taylor Swift because there's some things about this whole story that kind of had me unraveled. I watched a lot of Swifties with their talk shows, and they're all in for Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce, which that's this is just a report of what I've been watching. And there's some people that aren't in for the whole thing either. And there's, I guess you could say, naysayers that don't think they're going to make it. But in this world, because I'm a Christian and I need to say it like it is as a Christian, in this world of celebrity stardom, these things can be very fleeting. Like there's power, there's money. Taylor's, to me, is still in a lot of ways innocent. She's kind of walked into a lot of stuff in her younger years, and she's grown up in the business. But when I saw the Baphomet and everything, I knew she was in trouble. Okay, I kind of look at Travis as kind of a rescue plan for her, and I think it's going to work to a degree. Travis has to do some things in his own life too. He's called Mr. Pfizer, as Aaron Rodgers from the New York Jets puts it. And he kind of benefits financially from, I guess you could say, he's more of like a, what's the word I'm looking for? He's more of a benefactor of the whole Pfizer COVID shot endorsements. So this is, he's not just, he makes a lot of his money off of endorsements. He's a highly skilled, talented football player, but his millions is in endorsements. So they both are very powerful financially and also in professionally, and they're both in their business. So if you get a profile of what's going on, you can best read that these two are a powerful duo in both of their genres of careers. But that doesn't make a relationship what it is. What makes a relationship powerful is the willingness to want to be together. And you can see that in the fact that Taylor is at every game. At least from what I've seen, she's been at every game she could possibly get to. She is on break, and um, I don't see any flaws in the dating scene as far as what's going on with her on her end. And I see him as pretty devoted too. So I don't see anything wrong with it as far as the dating part. Um, I see them in too, it's too early to tell, is what I'm saying. It's nobody should ever jump the gun and say, yeah, they should be getting married anytime soon. But if he pops the question, it'll definitely change the storyline. Um, but like early into every relationship, everybody speculates, and there's a lot of these new celebrity talk shows and talk segments now that are, and I don't consider myself a talk show. I'm just doing a report. But I don't know. They all spin a lot of the same thing, information, and they just kind of repeatedly say the same thing. So you basically get the same information just repackaged. But I've been praying for Taylor Swift to come back to the Lord because it's evident to me that she's heavily into witchcraft and she's heavily into Satanism. And she is or was a Christian at one point. So she's well into the whole Hollywood scene, which we know Hollywood is a very satanic industry. Let's just say the whole music industry. Lecrae has gotten away from it. He's a Christian. A lot of former rap stars have come to Jesus Christ. So it's just a matter of time when you make up your mind for Jesus Christ. It's a big decision to leave the industry. And I don't see her leaving the industry, but I think she's going to be a crossover Christian artist at some point. I had a vision of it. I believe it. Sorry, I'm getting hot here. I don't mean to say hot, but it's got the sweatshirt on and it's still have the heater on. So, in this report, what I wanted to point out is that I just want to take a breather and try to slow down here because it is Christmas this week coming up. And, I want to go into this Christmas week with the intention of what most people would be doing in their relationships this week. This is a big week. This this week going into New Year's, into Valentine's Day, is when people get engaged. Now, since we're on the subject of talking about Taylor Swift, it's very possible that they could get engaged anytime between now and Valentine's Day. If you're in a relationship right now that's been semi serious, you could potentially get married anytime between now and Valentine's Day. So, that being the subject of this rest of this discussion, could you be looking at a potential marriage proposal? This is the time of year for it. This is this is when people get engaged. Christmas time into New Year's into Valentine's Day. These are the biggies. And the wedding season begins when um they usually say around June, but like we say end of May, June, okay? Because we're going into engagement season. Okay, so I said it. So if you're one of those people that has been dating somebody, let's just say 3 to 4 months is an average time to for a whirlwind romance. I get it. People want to get married. They want to run off and just do it. And you have a third wheel that's maybe holding you back. Don't don't ignore the fact that there are people that in your past will creep up. It happens, especially when you get serious about somebody. We were talking about Kayla, and I didn't want to get too much into her story because I like her. Um, I think she just came out and wanted to set the record straight. She is better off staying out of the limelight, to be quite honest, in the situation with Taylor and Travis Kelce. That's just my personal opinion. But I mean, since we're on the subject of talking about it, sorry, I'm gonna fix my hair once and for all. Okay, I feel a little bit better. But since we're on the topic of talking about this, I assume that usually when you're first dating somebody and somebody gets the fact that you're in a serious relationship and you've been in that intimate setting with the ex, usually it dies off, or you hope it does. If it's a narcissist relationship, that's a different story. You might have some issues. We've talked about narcissist abuse, so you can check my previous videos on narcissist abuse how it ends. Sometimes it ends tragically, sometimes it just ends and it's they ghost you and they never come back. In my case, he ghosted me, he never came back, and hey, I survived it. Life goes on. I didn't think after what I went through when he ghosted me that I was going to survive it. I really did those videos to survive. But that's another story. I really, I still have issues of anxiety from dating that guy that ghosted me, but not quite what I went through at that time. But I have issues of discussing dating because it's still a sore spot for me. But I empathize with people that go through breakups. And in this case, we could go into talking about biracial relationships and marriages. My brothers are both in biracial marriages. One's going through a divorce, and he was in a biracial marriage to a Chinese woman. And to be quite honest, not all biracial marriages have to do with black and white. His his situation was, like I said, he was involved with the Chinese woman. It's very different. Culture is very important to understand the core values um, of their culture and our culture. And if you don't embrace both cultures, you have different issues raising children, and one culture is going to dominate the other, especially depending on how the children look and appear. In my brother's case, my nephew appears more like her, the more dominant features of, he looks more Chinese, more or less. So the culture is more dominant in his in in her respect. It's more that he's more Chinese looking in this respect. Culture and knowing your roots and knowing what is important to you is one thing. But the socialization, what they're talking about in these blogs and these talk shows that I'm going to be linking you up with, is that they're talking about biracial relationships with black and white, the the social injustices and things like that, how far we've come and how far we've progressed in biracial relationships. And I can make this video about biracial relationships, but I'm going to tell you my other brother is in a biracial relationship with a Hispanic woman. And it's the same applies to that. It applies to black and white relationships. The only thing is there's more of a history with the black and white cultures. Core values and socialization and all these things apply. If you're in a biracial relationship, whether it be Hispanic, black and white, or in a Chinese, Asian, Filipino relationship, a lot of people are in these relationship type of situations, and you don't understand the culture or understand the core values. Those things are very important to understand: tradition, family values, and you get together with the in-laws. Because Kayla was talking about her in-laws and her family, and she was having a very difficult time with her own family accepting Travis. And I think that that's the biggest part of the problem with what happened to Kayla. Kayla's family did not really embrace Travis like Taylor Swift's family had embraced. Well, Taylor's family embraced Travis because they're both white. And they made it about race, but to be quite honest, there's no barriers. And to be honest with you, to the extent that I'm saying that those barriers are very tough to overcome. And it's already hard enough to date in your 30s, your mid 30s, into your 50s and 40s, into your 50s and such, that to be already having difficulties with family accepting you and all the things that come with dating, all those things come into play when you're first starting to date. If you're already having issues with your family, introducing your family, and you think that's going to be a factor in your relationship might last, but it might not last a lifetime, put it that way. So these are just thoughts that have been kind of crossing my mind as I've been watching these reports and videos and these talk shows. Like I said, the Swifties are really interesting watching these, I would say, interviews or these new talk shows spring up with these Swifties are having talk shows about everything that happens with Taylor Swift. And I'm just going to post this as a review of what I've been watching and just kind of give you a heads up on Designer's Corner, how I want to see this shape into a very multifaceted channel and get more subscribers to subscribe. If you do, please like and subscribe my channel. I really appreciate your support. There's a lot to be said in the next year. I really want 2024 to be about not just Designer's Corner, not just talking about what thing I made or whatever it is that's on my mind, but really the culture issues of the day and talk about the things that matter to all of us, not just Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce issues, not just that, but the topics that matter in the culture that affect us today and into the next year in 2024. So thank you for watching and God bless you.